everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I am so happy to have you here today. Before we get started, be sure you're subscribed here, that way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. Now in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a stencil using any font that you want to and making sure that your letter centers stay in place. This is actually a lot easier than I think people think that it is, and it's really fun, but this is a super easy way to do this. Now what's great is this can be used with both fonts and images to help you hold your centers in place. You'll use the same concept. So I'm going to take you over to Design Space and show you exactly how to do this. This is so easy, and I can't wait for you to be able to make any stencil that you want to. It's actually a lot easier than you think to make stencils that hold your letter centers in place, and I'm going to show you how to make those. They're really simple. So we're first just going to start with some text, and I'm just going to type out happy birthday. You can use, again, any text that you want, whatever you want it to say, but for me, we'll use happy birthday. Make it bigger so we can see it, and then we're going to select a font. And I'm going to use something in my system fonts. I just want something like fun, swirly, that's going to have some centers that we're going to want to keep intact. So I'm going to just find something that's a little bit thicker and not something like this. I want a script font. This one's really pretty. This is Austin Hearts, and I really like using this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of space this out to where I want it. So I'm pretty happy with the like centering, but I want them to be a little bit closer together. I don't want them to touch, but I do want that birthday to be just a little closer right in here. That might be a little too close. Pop them back out a little bit. I just used the line spacing for that. Now, you can see that we have a lot of centers to these letters and images and just these little places that we're going to want to keep in place. Now, it can get a little bit confusing for not only me, but I'm sure for you, as to like how we're going to keep everything in place. So I'm going to show you a quick trick that I like to do when I create stencils. I'm going to open up a shape and I'm going to use a square. And I'm going to make my square larger than my design. It can be a rectangle, whatever you want to do with it. I'm going to send this to the back, and I'm going to place my design on top of it. Now, let me change the color of the square so that you can see this a little bit better. Now, I'm going to center this using the Align feature, and I'm just going to completely center it. Now, what I want to do is I want to slice the words Happy Birthday away from that yellow square. It's going to make it a lot easier for us to see where we need to put those bridges, which is what we're going to do to create this so that the letter centers hold in place. So I'm going to go ahead and click Slice. And it may take a second, and I want to get rid of the words Happy Birthday. I want to get rid of both of these. Now, I do find that yellow a little bit harder to see than I would like, so let's use purple. And we can make this bigger as well, so it's easier for us to see. That way you guys can really see what I'm doing, and we can resize this down in a few moments. Now, the reason that I slice this out and I change the color is so that it's easier for me to see the pieces, so the purple pieces that aren't attached to the other purple piece. So anything that is like an island by itself, so to speak, is a piece that we're going to have to attach to the rest of our design to make it hold in place. In order to do that, we're going to open up the shapes again, and you can use a square or rectangle, whatever you want to use. And I'm going to create what are called bridges. So bridges are little pieces of your stencil material, and I'm going to cut this on cardstock to show you how this works. But they're little pieces of that stencil material that are going to hold your letters and your letter centers in place. So before I do anything, I like to lay mine out. So I've got one here because this is going to connect this little island to the main continent, if you will. So you can see here that now this will hold in place with this. And I can show you, let me grab them both. Let me duplicate this really quick because we're going to need several of these. But what I'm going to do is you want to select your slice results. You want to select your purple, and then you want to select that rectangle. You're going to go down to Combine, and you can either use Unite or Weld, whichever one you want to use. But now you'll see that you have this little line that is like a little bridge connecting your H to your little island of the H. I'm going to go ahead and send this to the back really quick so that I can grab this one. And again, we are going to be duplicating this a few times just so we can keep using the same piece, this same bridge. But now here with the A, I don't want it to be a really long bridge. So one thing I like to do is I will find the thinnest part of the design, and then I can angle my bridge so that it fits into that thin part of my design, and it will attach it. What I like to do then is to duplicate my bridge piece a few times. That way we've got them kind of laid out. And then I will grab each one and adjust them for each section, and then I unite or weld my design. That's just an easier way for me to do it, but you do what works best for you. It doesn't matter how much your bridge goes into your main continent piece and into your island, just so long as it doesn't hang over the island piece. Now, because I already sized this one to the perfect spot for the P, I'm going to go ahead and use that one again for that one. And then you're just going to go through and do all of your sections. And again, you can angle it if you want to. You can keep it straight, whatever works best for you and where you want to place your little bridge. So you can see I'm going to put my little bridge right here. Now, this little small piece in the R, you could bridge it, but it's really tiny and I'm just not worried about it. I don't care if it's bridged or not. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of shrink this one down a little bit because there is a little bit of a tight space here in this lowercase h. And I just want to make sure that I've got a little bridge there. I think I need a couple more rectangles, and I'm going to go ahead and get all of these bridged, and then I'm going to show you the next step. That way you can make sure that you are doing this in the way that makes the most sense. Now that I have all of my pieces and parts for my letters connected to the main part of my stencil, what I want to do is up here at the top, I'm going to choose select all. And then I'm going to go down here to the bottom. I'm going to go to the combine feature. And like I said, you can use unite, which you can undo if you ever want to, or you can just use weld. Both will do the same thing. Now you'll see that all of our letters are attached. Now, when you go to stencil this, if you don't want those little bridges in the way, when you're done stenciling, you just go in with a little bit of paint and you fill in the little bridge spaces. I'm going to go ahead and size this down so that it will cut. And like I said, I'm going to cut this pretty large. That way you guys really can see what we're doing. That way you can really see the bridges. But once I've got this done, you can cut this on any material that you want to, whether you're using Mylar film, transparency film, you want to use cardstock, whatever you want to use for your stencil, you can use these little bridges, and it really makes a big difference. So go ahead and hit make. It's going to ask us to save our project. I'm going to call this Happy B-Day Stencil. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now, I do always recommend saving your project before you hit make. That way, if something goes wrong, your project is safe. And now you'll see you've got your design here and all your bridges and your word, and we can go ahead and cut this. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using some cardstock for this just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like, but you use whatever kind of stencil material or material in general that you want to cut this with, and you'll be able to use this no problem. Letter centers will stay in place. So let's go ahead to the machine and get this cut out. We're ready to cut out the paper that'll hold all of our centers in place. Now, like I said, you can use any type of material you want, but I'm going to use cardstock for this, and I'm using a dark color so that you can see a little bit better through it, so that you can see the little bridges. So all I'm doing is cutting this on some medium cardstock, let it cut out, and I'll show you what it looks like. Now that this is done, I'm going to go ahead and unload this, and then I'm going to peel this off of the mat so that we can see what it looks like with our letters held in place. So as always, I recommend flipping over your mat, and we're going to remove it very carefully, just like so. And we're just going to take our time, super slow, because we want to make sure that nothing kind of gets jammed or like ripped or anything or bent. So there are a couple parts where there's going to be some small pieces. So you just want to kind of take your time and press those down. And I'm almost to the end. And this is why I recommend you do it with the mat with it face up and then the paper face down. Now, first off, you can see there's what's left behind. But what we are really interested in is the actual happy birthday sign. Let me get you a better view of this so you can really see those bridges. Now here's a little bit more of a close-up view so you can see those bridges. That's what's really going to hold those center pieces of your letters or your image in place. It's really important that you add those or you're going to have to place those individually, and what a pain when you're making a stencil. And like I said, if you don't want to see the bridges after you've painted on your stencil, just go in with a paintbrush and cover up those little spots. It's very, very easy to do. If you have any questions about this, by all means, please let me know in those comments down below. Or if you're looking for a specific tutorial, I'd love to give you one. Be sure to let me know down below as well. This is such an easy process, and I think it's going to be really helpful for you when you want to make stencils. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.